做到邊啊？哇！佢 Discord 俾人叫咗出去。我係偷咗好多錢嘅，一直累積嘅呢個錢。我已經唔記得我之前計劃做啲乜嘢。好似想去挑戰下呢個 Armed Man 呢個事件。大聲 Virtuous Man。我咪未揾到 Galerius 喺邊啊 Galerius？Where is Galerius？ 呢個祭壇係做咩嘅？完全唔知。成日聽到啲金像用頸喐嘅聲咯，都幾恐怖嘅啲。金屬摩擦聲。Where is Galerius? Oh, I see you.
Don't you just love springtime? Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now, what's on your mind? Thanks. What did she say? Venus, that is the best news I've ever heard in my life. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how happy you've made me. I wish there was something I could do to thank you properly, but I don't have much to offer you. All I can do is tell you where there's a secret stash of coins you might be interested in. In the rock tunnel, near the stairs, there's a little doorway set into the rock. Inside, if you look carefully, you can see a chest. Unfortunately, one of those golden huntress statues is blocking the path, and I'm not game to move it. If you can figure out how to get past it, I reckon there might be a small fortune waiting for you. I hope that helps in some way. All right, friend. Hope you find a way to break that cycle you're in.
超，我早知啦。應該要觸發 Golden Rule 跟住先入到去，但係好似好危險咁咯，要衝過去。咦，天黑啦喎！幾點？佢可唔可以查到個時間㗎？其實呢個係 Virtuous Man， 係咪真係咁好人？雖然佢唔似做壞事嘅人，但係唔做壞事。只係個普通人啫，唔表示佢係好人嘅。 Ask residents of the village for clues about Sentila's disappearance。呢個係 optional， 但係我唔知問邊個咯。我問過好多人都冇線索㗎喎呢個。我覺得個 breakout 係呢個位嘅，但係我唔知點做呢個。我有冇入過去呢個地方？可以企過嚟呢度。Interesting。我可以同佢講 Ruby 死咗。
Oh, it's you again. Is everything all right?
冇得講。Ruby is dead.
All right. Goodbye.
我覺得應該同佢講，但係是但。
Welcome.
冇新對話喎呢啲人，好奇怪嘅。其實 Acritia 係咪喺呢個位㗎？完全唔明。俾我查下個 register list 先，有冇邊個我未見過 ？Claudia 我未見過。嚇 ？Do 咩字嚟㗎？Dulius。哦 ，Duli 就係 Dulius。Duli 就係佢。Duilius Acritia Nook。我睇下成個。我睇下成個嘢有啲咩，睇下佢啲 nook 有咩值得注意嘅地方先。Forum， this is a forum。OK， 我影個 market。Duty。Fabia Baker Slum。咦？有冇見過佢？佢好似從來冇喺個麵包鋪度出現過。Fabia 係咪死咗？Fabia。Fabia 係嗰個好驚嗰條友。哦。咁冇人整麵包點算？Georgius Forum。Georgius 係嗰個好有地中海氣息喎。Class Foreign 啊。有 social class 咁樣。原來呢度叫 forum， 呢度唔係叫 market。Hannibal 死咗。Horatius Carved。Carbash disappeared。其實總共有幾多人？Ludia Villa Middle。OK。Dead Bondsman。 個 class 係 Patron 喎，社會地位好高喎。Lucretia nurse， 咪住。Julia Livia， 哇，好鬼似啫！你哋個名。Not now refuses to work。Malleolus duty Monday landing not to be trusted。呢個係咩 ？Naevia。我唔知用拉丁文讀，我唔知用希臘文讀好定係乜英文嚟嘅，應該係英文字母嚟嘅，係。好鬼多人失咗蹤或者死咗已經。Octavia 喺上面嗰個 Cleaning Garden， 其實呢個唔係高級，呢個係高社會階級嚟啊！呢度。Increasingly agitated。Sentia duty pupil for her safety missing. Sentius Villa Upper Porter Forum。 哦，佢係喎，佢哋啲鋪頭其實係住宅嚟。數下幾多人先，其實我由尾數上去都得嘅。2、3、4、5、6、7、8、8、3、24。就4架啦，唉。
Help! You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule. Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. What? Why? All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Trickster. Sun achievement. Save Fabius life. 可唔可以同你講嘢
Did you stop him?
？Not yet.
What are you waiting for?
走啦你。Alright. 睇下點呃佢入去。
Stop right there. I am looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
其實可以拉㗎嘛。He goes by Malleolus now， 但係佢會殺晒所有人。我覺得呢個係會 break golden。No matter what I say.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
我點 obtainable 咧？好似冇觸發golden。 好神奇地冇觸發到啦。Give me your bow.
Filthy lying degenerate.
竟然冇觸發 Golden Rule Line 嘅話，同埋我完全係謀殺咯呢個。Aventine District of Rome, 15 years old, average height, average build， 乜都 average， 你想點啊？50歲。Typically keep clean shape， 我覺得可以揾下呢個人。Well， 馬里奧勒係我冇見過，係我好少見嘅人，所以就清楚。Saving， 唔係 loading。睇下呢個年代嘅把炮係點嘅先。哇，好鬼豪華啫，俾20幾人。原本就係好豪華嘅，其實我冇着鞋。Godlike figure turning a man into gold。呢個係 Poseidon 嚟嘅，係咪依個神？呢個係乜水啊？呢個係乜水啊？呢個年代就喺度 ，Always remember they're watching。全部人都喺度跌落嚟。一戰都係無限補給㗎啦，基本上。喂，點解有光嘅？呢個唔係 bath house 咯，呢個係 swimming pool 嚟嘅，仲深過啲跳水池咯，大佬係浸得死人㗎。其實啲游泳池唔使整到3米深，我諗下其實你整2米度已經 OK 嘅啦，可以跳到上嚟。 好，翻去同啲人報告先。
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important.
You there! I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban, but I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts. Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues? Well, between you and me, I found an old scroll from years ago, hastily written, in which the author claimed something extraordinary and terrifying. He wrote that when the golden rule is broken, statues spring to life all over the city, wielding golden bows and begin firing golden arrows at the inhabitants. Supposedly, one or two of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop.
Okay.
The goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested? Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not? Oh, I'm not suggesting we use such a bow on people. There's no profit in breaking the golden rule. Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan. But first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
Not really.
No problem. Allow me to explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you-know-what. Oh, gods, no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then, you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away. Because the gods would see you, of course. Hence, my proposal. I'm more of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful and heroic type. I have complete confidence in you. When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger? Only because he was silly enough to get caught. So, are you in, partner?
Action or horror elements. 呢個係 tip horror elements 我都要入個 lower assistant 㗎啦。
Are you sure? Last chance?
Whisper I do it.
Wonderful. Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying a layer of gold leaf. This is a quality weapon. Now, bear with me for a moment.
可唔可以用㗎？打工。
And here we are, a gold leaf bow.
好似好靚。我諗佢用嗰啲金像身上嗰啲金嚟整嘅。
Now I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
Well， 幾時先會 break Golden Rule？我同啲人報告咗，所以我殺咗個刺客先。第一次見到你。
You took care of him? An accident? So, it's over? Oh God, it's such a relief. I really thought we were all going to die. I do have a question though. That shrine, the one I was going to hide in, did you know it was going to collapse? I don't understand. Oh, I see. I should probably keep my big mouth shut then. Sorry. I promise, nobody else will ever know what you did. But I know. That was really clever. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, speaking of which, welcome. I'm Fabia. Sorry I was a bit frantic before. Need anything? Oh, there's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can. I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me, a fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked. In the end, they decided I'd do better outside the city. Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said. But after about a day in a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep, because when I opened them again, I was in a forest by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're right. Hadn't really thought about it. But the gods are mysterious and powerful. Who knows what their plans are for us? What? You've been here a few moments and you're desperate to get out already? Why not give the place a chance before you try to leave? Good people here. Galerius works hard on the farm so I can put food on our tables, and Lucretia tries to keep us healthy. My friend Georgius is always mending our clothes, and Virgil makes sure these old walls don't fall down around us. Well, he does his best. I'm just saying, there are worse places you could live out your days. Well, I can tell from your funny accent you're not from around here, but that doesn't mean you don't belong, does it? Oh, I try not to worry about it. I mean, if people are nice to each other, we won't have anything to worry about, will we?
Have you met people?
Thanks. And I like your teeth. They're so white. And your clothes. Oh, I bet my friend Georgius would like to get a look at you. And I'm sure he'd love to chatter about the Golden Rule with you too. He'll be just across the forum in his shop.
Oh my god.
All right. Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
可唔可以淨係入去間廟睇下？
Greetings and salutations. Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very well, ask me what you will. I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
我覺得應該就嚟天黑啦，有啲暗暗地已經。咁啱嘅喂。點解爛成咁嘅呢個地方？我想做咗呢個先。Look！ 喂！頂，係咪佢喺外面食嘅？應該要快啲。Able to turn organic matter into gold. Wielded by Diana. Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you. A little bit slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in. And until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like Tantalus in Tartarus. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole. You're just gonna have to take your chances, I'm afraid. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognise my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man. But I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were right, shall we?
有個人死咗喺度。我覺得會去翻，呢啲咪金沙嚟，可能係咁鬼多金喺嘅地方。我覺得會去翻嗰個希臘人嗰度，地底嗰個。咁多死人嘅呢度。哦，可以將啲嘢變成金嘅。咁射落去 ，Golden Archer， 好神奇啊！成件事。Find a way to return the city. Ooh, interesting. Okay, 點樣企上去 ？Come on. 呢啲嘢就係用金石落去。哦 ，OK。Very interesting， 哇！真係估佢唔到喎，佢個劇情真係估佢唔到，仲可以攞嚟殺人添呢把嘢，一戰一個。
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you.
Galatea.
I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks, my beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care.
Oh. Say again.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, She was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
Okay, very interesting. 咁就行得啦，耶！同埋我因為喺 time loop 入面有無限嘅喺 time loop 入面有無限嘅箭嘅供應，只要我重複嗰日，有人幫我嘅。頂，好 ，so much power。 Where's this place?竟然唔係去返個希臘人度。Diana 係咪真係 Venus 啊 ？Diana 係 Venus 喎，應該。希臘名係 Venus。Where's this place? Find a way into the palace. Oh my god！ 直接突破咗呢度。開咗個鎖先，開唔開到嘅？好想開咗佢喎，而家，喂，俾我搬喐佢啊！ safe。佢哋淨係望我咯，佢哋唔會望其他人。即係我係有啲特別嘅。 kick。OK。 話要俾錢我啦，即係佢哋可以喺嗰啲金像入邊飛出嚟嘅。Horror element， 打喪屍㗎要咩嚟㗎呢啲？ 但唔玩呢部分點完成到個遊戲？ 足夠嘅箭啊！冇箭嘅話會死嘅。72蚊，恐怖嘅呢個世界。但係佢哋點喺個金像走出嚟？唔係好明。Safe。就嚟天黑啦。
You're not supposed to be here.
點解咁做？係你做嘅喎咁。我驚佢天黑，我驚天黑之前出唔到呢個地方。Which way? Which way? 嗰邊係咩嚟嘅？如果喺呢度天黑咁咪死咯。Locked， 呢度應該過唔到去咯。佢叫我跳落去。Alright。Alright。Thank you。哦，個 Nerfia 喺度拆開啲金像，啲人係喐得嘅，但係會好痛苦。變翻金佢哋反而舒服啲。如果企喺入面嘅話，跟住射箭落去係會死嘅。呢個變咗金味佢。Horror element 係有嘅。Saving。有冇用嘅咧？我跳台嚟嘅呢度 ，interesting。 度都變咗金。其實成個故事本身就有啲恐怖，都唔止係對喪屍嘅問題。踢開佢先，唔會擋住條路。點樣喺度？今次個突破口幾好，個突破口幾好。射中咗棵樹。Come on. What the fuck?射唔射得中啦？Nervy 喺度做咗啲咩啊 ？Nervy 喺度做咗啲咩啊？定唔廢？踢開佢就變成可以穿過去。呢個係真嘅喎，呢個像，呢個像係真嘅。呢個應該係唯一一個真嘅金像，其他都係人變成。仲有冇敵人？變咗 platforming 啦，而家係。What the fuck? Holy shit.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper your true name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
Holy shit.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in my...
有血喺地下，頂。好撚癲啊！成個故事好撚癲啊！我呢個係金箭嚟喎，呢堆。死咗未？對，好似未死。如果喺度射箭咁咪出唔到去咯，我自己。咁咪 trap 咗自己嘅。咁咪過到去呢度過到去。 應該去邊啊？有啲好奇。Hints enabled， 哦，就係嗰個。呢個係教緊我點行。喺度 save 一下先。邊度出唔出到去？出唔到應該出唔到。Alright。佢哋知道我有金箭先可以咁行嘅咯，冇金箭冇可能嘅。係咪可以爬上去嘅呢度？啊！現實。我變咗金之後可以爬嘅 ，save， 跳上去先，可以咁爬嘅。Alright， 熟知知。入唔到去啦，直頭點啊？Anything？一日好多錢喺度。呢個真嘅。呢個係咪？呢個係咪就係格拉田啊？真係好靚啦呢個，但係佢個樣唔似 Sadness。我覺得呢個係真嘅金像，呢個係原本嘅 Palace 嘅嘢嚟。 有幾個真係裝飾性嘅金像，呢個係其中之一啦，應該。無啦啦變成 FPS 而家個遊戲，好鬼神奇。Insufficient drive place。冇事。佢唔係 loop 嘅，佢係無限 save 嘅。第一個 save file 有幾大？Drive space 冇可能唔夠嘅，仲有幾廿 G 嘅。嚟 delete 一堆先。成日中嗰嚿嘢。女人嚟喎呢個。我咪應該寫呢個位其實。佢指住嗰邊，點解咧？超多錢。
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to ungild you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this God's forsaken place. My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been done.
邊個係 Galatea 啊？就天黑㗎。headshot 係即死嘅。呢個都幾靚。無啦啦變咗 FPS 成個遊戲。我開翻個國車啊先，唉。嘥咗好多支持。呢個係真嘅金像。我應該射呢嚿嘢其實。睇唔到。夠唔夠戰用咧我？呢度係變成金嘅成 miss 咗嘅話 ，My God！ 頂好撚恐怖。的確係 horror 呢度。Evidently, its death didn't break the golden rule. Why? 好多血啊！嗰啲金像入面。 應該冇咩人藏喺度。我都係快啲離開嘅地方。好啦，同胞。
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And, worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that. Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace, for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her, to see her beautiful face, to hear her speak freely, instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you? What do you mean, the same voice? Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done here was... Wait, I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me. Were you planning to wait until I'd done all the hard work, then swoop in? Is that it? Liar! You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too.
我想喺佢身上知道啲嘢，但係我諗佢已經冇咩情報俾我知道，佢寫晒喺日記上。如果我射佢嘅話，我係咪觸發 Golden Rule 啊？
What are you talking about?
我驚。
Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us?
Oh, 我寧願觸發 Golden Rule。
You think you can bring me down with your little wooden arrows before I jam this blade into your throat? What? How? That's impossible. You're trying to intimidate me. Liar. Really? I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll give you the key to my old medical chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I imagine it would help Lucretia ease the suffering of those still in the city. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood?
Talk.
You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. I swear I will never harm her again. I swear it. I'll stay here to keep her company. But these poor souls, what can be done for them? I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I believe there are a few things in there which may be useful to Lucretia.
佢有2條鎖匙㗎。
Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there. Go, and never return.
可唔可以喺你口中問啲情報翻 ？Key 有2個，咦已經用咗啦。頂呢條友。
What other secrets have you stolen from the gods?
哦，都可以喺度落去。點解有啲蝴蝶喺佢身邊？ 天黑啦，應該。我哋準備走。Survivor. Survive the palace. Wait. $2分鐘前。我唔做呢個任務，去唔去到真正結局㗎？咁我打第2周目，好似要成個 palace 打多次。咁講嘅話。呢度過到去嘅。 該係隨時上到嚟，應該係咪話？誒？我點上去？點啊？晒晒我啲字，點上去啊？算叫數。算。應該去 Malleolus 嗰度，但應該就係選舉嘅嘞噃。天黑。
That's quite an impressive bow you have there. Chapave again. Did you find what you need? And did you notice anything? A pattern? Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here? And did you happen to catch her name? I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Fine. Don't follow too closely.咁Assistant 嗰隻怪物可能都係啲 Golden Statue 嚟嘅。呢度撈得幾快？誒，應該講呢個神係咩神？What are you doing here?
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld.
Okay.
And why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can. That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kamut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque. Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque.
Alright.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum.
Okay.
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one.
Why?
But perhaps finding the other three will illuminate the way. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the Underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage. If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels? Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say? Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out? That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that. Right, because the current flows into the city through the aqueduct and into the upper cistern. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
What option?
In any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
冇啦，今日嘅時間已經用完啦。頂個 Palace 真係 OK 恐怖，越嚟越恐怖呢個故事，差唔多係呢個 Cops Party 嘅等級咯，基本上。夠鐘噶啦喎，今日。天黑啦，我好唔好去揾個希臘人？4000蚊呢？黐叫線。
Ave.
Malleolus.
Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me? Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession, I'd be happy to sell it to you, but I don't, so I can't. My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else. You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different coloured eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more. Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish. That's quite all right. We all make mistakes. I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Hmm. 點樣令佢退出呢？
I'm not supposed to be in here. I should hope so. This is outrageous.
冇寫嘢喎呢度。啊，同你講下嘢啦。
Why are you still here? My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. An intriguing proposition. Go on. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me? To withdraw. Listen, I may not be Penelope to his Ulysses, but to ruin his plans to become a magistrate? You must think me quite mad. I've heard enough. Get out of here at once. Domitius! Come quickly! We're being robbed!
Hello.
Do I need to call Domitius? Get out!
Fail. Never mind. 我去問其他人先。咁嘅話，1、2、3係換裝備嘅，原來夠鐘㗎喎，差唔多。
are they? Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation? Of course. What is it? Yes? Why then did you say... It doesn't matter. It looks like you'll have to continue your... I think it's best if I hang on to it. You mean to ask, why am I unwilling to trust a newly arrived non-citizen with access to our water supply, the lifeblood of this city? I'm sorry, but that is simply out of the question. Yes, our water supply. From you. I wasn't born yesterday. Poisoning a city's water supply is the oldest trick in the Codex. Quite literally. Aeneas the Tactician wrote a siegecraft manual for military commanders some 300 years ago, recommending the poisoning or pollution of cisterns. And I'm beginning to wonder if the culprit we're looking for might, after all this, be you. Perhaps it was a mistake on my part to place so much trust in you. I'm glad to hear that. Now, was there something else? Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
夠鐘㗎啦喎，有幾個地方我可以查而家，有啲地方可以爬上去㗎嘛。Treasure Hunter. Thank you.呢度下面冇嘢，好似。嚟嘅暗。好多謎團而家。係咯，差唔多天下。估唔到個 Palace 咁鬼恐怖。我淨係攞錢嘅。Fine。
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. Say it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it? I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, and still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my shoulders. Thank you, friend. I think I should rest.
What else? 直接消失咗，有咩用啊？
Friend, you have given me hope. May you follow in the footsteps of Hercules and return to the light of day.
冇嘢講，你有冇嘢講啊？
Back again. Couldn't stay away, huh? Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgius, whispering about some job. I remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else to know. So, naturally, I hovered. The one word I kept hearing was vanishing, and then, the next day, Kabash just disappeared. Coincidence? I think not. Certainly, for 10 denarii. Have you met Livia? She used to do my hair. Now, she just stands. I hear that if Malleolus is elected, he's gonna throw a small festival to celebrate, with entertainment and everything. Can't wait to find out what it is. There used to be a midwife here, Naevia, but this place drove her mad as a meaniad. Said she could hear the statues whispering to her. Can you imagine? Fortunately for us, she locked herself in the palace weeks ago and hasn't been seen since. Good riddance, I say. Centilla, the magistrate's youngest daughter, went missing a few weeks ago, right out from under Daddy's nose. How can we trust him to govern a city if he can't even protect his own daughter? I heard Dacius has been offering a lot of money for a bow. Of course, Sentius banned all weapons in the city, so I can't help but wonder what he's up to.
佢一直擦緊同一個背。
Have you seen the way Rufius walks around staring at all the statues? He says he's afraid they're going to spring to life. But then, why does he have a collection of them in his room? I hear Galerius has a thing for Equitia, but of course she's a Vestal priestess. If she sleeps with him, The magistrate will have to bury her alive. Why do silly boys always want what they can't have? I hear there are blasphemous cultists walking among us. You know, the ones that lit the fires last year? Some even say they have a secret shrine around here somewhere. I've already told you everything I know, I'm afraid.
Alright.
Alright, see ya.
Same football to be starting.
去啦你哋，去啦你哋。唔關我事。我要走得甩先得咯，我要肯定。應該仲有一段時間。climbable。Okay. Pluto. Hey ho.
I said, please leave. You're trespassing.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh no.哇！冇搞錯。一開門就射落我度，真係睇準我。我要揾條路係唔會出事嘅，入去嗰個位。或者下週木先。哇！喺呢度死㗎。Run！ 可以唔使同嗰個人講嘢。走唔到上去，咁樣應該趕唔切。如果要走呢條路，呢條路去邊？Quick save。Quick save. Quick save. Quick save.有邊啲嘢係失敗咗？唔知點解呢個失敗咗。Old man ask the old. 呢個係等於謀殺。佢係戴住個射箭嗰啲手嗰啲護臂。
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
哇！死開啊你！停，會走入嚟嘅。避到。唉，知道多咗秘密咧，你就唔想再玩落去。呢啲遊戲都係，所以我今日可能玩耐啲，兩個鐘已經。所以呢度係 Pluto 嘅世界嚟嘅，啱。好。
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh, right then. I'll get out of your way.
Hi, Jack!
Ah, it's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind? All right. See you around.
Load. Inventory. 8000蚊 ，yeah。睇啲先。Father Bridges.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening. Yulia? Oh no. All right, I can do that. Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. All right, got it. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
All right. 呢堆完全唔知點做。可以繼續揾錢嘅喎。咦，成個城市咁鬼多錢，點解冇人攞走嗰啲嘢？冇人嚟呢度。Interesting。So much power。我係，呢度可以跣過嚟嘅，可以飛過嚟嘅。睇下先啊，來啦。無限。無限嘅錢，有少少好奇攞走呢啲嘢。係咪應該射落啲彈度？可能射落啲金彈度，跟住就會有人收埋做禮物嗰個 Dominius。咁係箱嚟，呢上面有個箱。有100蚊，哇！完全冇人攞嘅，你哋住咗喺度咁鬼多個月。咁輕鬆，賺啲錢。當然啦，得我一個係有 time travel 嘅能力。多謝晒。其 其他點做啊？我仲未知，我仲未知道呢個點做。呢度可以飛翻過去，要逃走嘅話。9109，點解冇人攞嘅？呢度唔算偷嘢。仲有呢度後面又有錢。其實咁樣跑幾圈已經好鬼多錢。我會覺得係每次都係一樣個錢嘅數量。呢個着住件衫係布嚟嘅，我俾佢攞咗嚟做 model。
Greetings and
For the last time,
salutations.
Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
Greetings. I'm Georgius.
You know
It
why.
gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I.
Weapons in the city. We all went
My
along with the
friend, your
magistrate's
words intrigue me
weapons
more
ban,
and
so it
more.
wouldn't
But
be
yes,
an
very
issue.
well. Ask me what you
That's why I
will.
want to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my friend, but even discussing this matter is dangerous. Please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath us. Very well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this, so please keep it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food, in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day when I return, the food is missing. The offering, it is symbolic, you see. It is never eaten, so I ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn, to see if I could spot a thief going in. But do you know what I saw? Nothing! Nobody entered, and yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again. It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building on your right. I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for 2 people disappearing. But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
Well， 同地底嗰個人有關。又同 Dooley 有關。
Hey, my friend. Have you discovered anything about my vanishing offerings? Huh? Ah, that is all right. Perhaps another time. And in a city full of Romans you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans. My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios and they think, ah, he must mean Georgius. Good Roman name. They do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy us but call him Jupiter. They take Hades and call him Pluto, Persephone, Proserpina. I am flattered that they copy our ideas, but why must they change the names? Do they want credit for making it all up? Do they want to forget where it came from? At first, I pull my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgius the Roman. I accept the world is Roman. Plus, I have no hair left to pull. But my point is this. If you want to know who stole an old Greek name, look no further than the sticky-fingered Romans. The plaque you seek was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics by none other than Dooley. He cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he likes shiny things, especially those that once belonged to my people. And besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him, in his cell, just opposite the Temple of Demeter.
Thanks.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Alright.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask where you acquired it?
可惜我冇喺上週末見到佢。
Are you well, stranger? Have you been out in the sun too long? You seem a little confused. Perhaps you should go and see Lucretia in a clinic. Very well. Another time.
頂，早知上週末走去見佢啦。Wasted. Steal 2,000 coins after the golden rule is broken. Confront the creator of the golden. 我喺度 check 緊啲 achievement。喂。
Hello? Hello? Have we met before? Do you like it? It's shiny, innit? It makes me happy just looking at it. But if I gave it to you, then I wouldn't have it anymore, and I'd be sad. Well, if you get me out of here, then I wouldn't need it anymore because I'd already be happy. Then you could have it, and you'd be happy too. Like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my plaque and everyone will be happy. Bye bye.
呢個同 Claudia 有關啊，應該下個我落咗地底先，應該下個主要任務係 Claudia。咁大道門係冇人見過嘅，我住咗喺度咁多個月。應該唔係可以跳落去，得。誒，又見面啦，我哋。下面嗰個門淨係 lock 住咗。
Ah, a visitor. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name? It is best you do not know my name, for merely to speak of my existence in the city of Underworld would bring destruction on you all. Tell me,
how?
What brings you all the way down here? Ah, Kabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over.
Huh.
Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet? So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? Or must we simply follow the laws and customs of whichever community we're in? You know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from among my people who lived some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead, "What would it take for you to burn your dead?" "Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement? Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct? Disturbing. And while I do not agree with you, at least you would have the support of Herodotus. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended, and those situations are impossible to codify. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
應該係你係咪 Pythagoras 嚟嘅？
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thanks.
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
係你食㗎嘛啲嘢？
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive. I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But like so many things in life, Arguments are better with a partner. As you wish. Ha! If I did, would I be living like this? Did we not discuss it at length already? Oh, I see. You're toying with me. Ha! You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription. It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you, if Kabash had not already taken it. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the Shrine of Persephone became the Shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
係咪曬啊？希臘嘅死神。希臘嘅死神係咩？
No idea until years later when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Wow. 咁夠。
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
Alright. What else? 我而家做咩咧之後？有冇錢㗎呢個地方？係唔需要？ 呢個人生活唔需要錢，今日應該解好鬼多米，因為我仲想玩落去。我可以停低個 stream 一陣，我可以停低個 stream 一陣再翻嚟嘅。喺度停啦，或者應該係休息一小段時間翻嚟。